first challenge. How do I hold the microphone, use my tablet and move the slides on? We'll see how that works through. So my name is Chris Wainwright and I'm the Head of Savings Transformation. And tonight we'd like to talk to you about our story of our transformation programme. It started back in 2023. It's a multi-year transformation. I think it's really interesting, but I'm also a little bit of a geek as well. But hopefully there'll be some useful snippets in here for you. And the great news is I've got two counterparts to help me through this tonight. So you'll be hearing from Dan and Katie in a few minutes' time. Now, collectively, we are known as the three amigos: business, change, and technology. And together, we're working on our North Star, which is providing outstanding, digitally led, frictionless customer experiences powered by a modern digital architecture, connected data to enable seamless customer journeys with expert human support when our customers need it. Trips off the tongue, doesn't it? Hopefully you can remember that. Over the last 2 years, we have seen so many benefits from bringing together those three disciplines of business, technology, and change, breaking down historical silos and ensuring a shift away from those kind of moment-in-time prioritization and decisions to more dynamic, real-time, value-led, fully considered, collaborative decisions based on data and insight. Lots of words there. So what's actually changed at Skipton and what's changed within this transformation programme? Our board signed up to a problem statement and a concept of what our future needed to look like, not a list of projects or a waterfall delivery plan. And that's really brave of them because they've empowered us as a business to go out and find the right solutions. We in turn gave that power and that decision making to our business users and to our technology teams to make the right decisions. We closed down some of our steering committees and we made sure that within our value streams we got our business users alongside those change and technology capabilities to have the right people in the right place at the right time to keep us moving forward with agility and pace. We've iterated our business case, and why wouldn't you? Because the world in which we operate continues to change. So when we signed off our cost and our business case 2 years ago, the moment it was signed off, it was out of date. We constantly go back and we educate our board and our exco, but we have got our eye on that ball, our finger on the pulse to make sure that we can stand behind that on an ongoing basis. We've stopped some things really quickly and we've had to fail fast in certain instances, and we'll share with you tonight some of those things which we've learned and the problems that we've faced into. And we've ensured that throughout all of this, the customer has been at the centre of our design and of our testing when we look at constructing our new journeys. But why did we choose to renovate our estate? Because things were going splendidly well. Customer satisfaction was consistently high, engagement levels were booming, we'd achieved platinum IIP, commercial results were at record highs. So why would you choose to change? In today's fast-paced digital world, the way we connect with customers is constantly evolving. The days where a single touch point was enough to meet customers' expectations are gone. Instead, customers now interact with us and our business across a variety of different platforms, whether that's our branch network, our website, mobile app, across social media, more recently through the use of AI chatbot and assistants. Customers expect choice, and more importantly than that, they expect us to know who they are regardless of their start point and how they move across those channels. In this omnichannel world, it is not enough to offer siloed channels. We have to create seamless, integrated experiences. And this is why building an omnichannel customer strategy is no longer optional if we're to avoid being selected against. Customers expect real-time, seamless journeys, effortlessly moving between online and offline worlds. And our design ensures that customers can pick up where they've left off, and it's about creating consistent, joined-up journeys where the customers feel that they are understood and valued as a member. Now, we believe that our people are critical and they have such a huge part to play in our future and in the provision of advice and supporting members in the moments that matter. And we believe that we can create the opportunity to scale and for us to have our people available to do that for our members by creating easy self-service solutions for our customers for their most straightforward needs. and in turn, being able to point our people at the interactions where our customers need that additional support, they don't have that confidence, or they just want to see a real person. And that's that beautiful blend of digital and people, which Ola was talking about previously. I believe that when we present customers with choice, they feel that their preferences are recognised. They feel important, trust grows, advocacy grows, they're likely to return, they will recommend us, and they become long-term advocates of what we stand for. In a marketplace that's more competitive than ever, the risk of being selected against due to a lack of real-time onboarding, integrated channels, and seamless servicing is an ever-growing and amplified risk. Now, data, we've already touched on this tonight, is also super important. When we create integrated channels, we gain valuable insight in terms of customer behaviour and preferences, and that data empowers us to personalise, offering targeted promotions, relevant content, and timely interactions when they need it. Ultimately, this means that we can serve our customers better, increasing engagement, advocacy, access to advice, and helping us also achieve our commercial objectives and expectations. So before any of our engineers started to build and before any of our delivery teams were stood up, we spent time making sure that we could answer these following questions. What is our service strategy? What do our customers need now, but what do the customers of our future also need? How do we differentiate with advice and ensure that we can provide that real human touch when our members need it? And how can we use data to truly know our customers? Now, undoubtedly, technology and customer preferences will continue to change. And our opportunity is to rebuild a business that is flexible enough to meet customers wherever they are now, but wherever they also choose to go. To build the foundations that will truly mean that we have the business agility to remain relevant today, but also into the future. Our programme is a programme of 3 component parts. It is in part an infrastructure migration. It is in a large part a re-architecting of our technology stack. But really importantly for me, it's an opportunity to reinvent the art of the possible from a greenfield site when it comes to providing exceptional journeys for both our colleagues and for our customers. And that's the opportunity which we have at the moment. I also want to talk about how we take our teams, colleagues and organisation through a transformation. Technology is evolving at an unprecedented pace, and whether that's artificial intelligence, data and analytics, automation, cloud computing. But for a transformation to be truly meaningful, it's super important that our people stand behind that, those that are actually using the capabilities and technologies. The real challenge, I don't think, is the technology itself. Dan will probably disagree with me in a few minutes' time, but it's in creating that culture where our people feel empowered, confident, that they have a voice, and they're excited about the future story that we're writing. We have spent an awful lot of time communicating not only the technical benefits, but the broader value that the changes bring, whether that's around efficiency, greater collaboration, or freeing up our colleagues to have more creative, meaningful, enriching conversations. It doesn't matter. We talk about them all. We repeat that message time and time again so that they understand it. We've spent a lot of time talking about the culture that we're looking to create, the performance shift that we expect to see, training, engagement, and developing mature, strategic product roadmaps that can be continued to be iterated as we move out these foundational stages of the programme that we're working on. It's been important to show that this transformation isn't about replacing people, but empowering them to do their jobs better with the tooling that they need and making us scalable and fit for the future as our membership base grows. Whilst technology will continue to evolve, it's our people who ultimately will determine whether our transformation is successful over the coming year. By guiding them with clarity, support, and bringing them closer to change, I believe that they feel part of something which is much bigger and part of something that will make a difference for the organisation. For me, the legacy isn't just the technology. As I say, it's the culture. It's the stories that they tell about the things that we are doing. But most importantly, it's the difference that our members feel on a day-to-day basis when they interact with us, regardless of their channel of choice. Now I'm going to hand over to Katie, who's going to tell you what we've actually done.
Thanks, Chris. So I'm Transformation Programme Director, which means I'm in charge of delivery. So I have to make sure that the vision that Chris creates and the rest of the business creates actually does get delivered and keep him to the scope that we originally set. It's a constant battle, I can tell you that. So I'm going to spend just a few minutes to talk to you about the solutions that we are putting in place to deliver on that vision. Hopefully you can see some of the themes that come through there. And then just a few minutes on, and what are the challenges that we've got? What are the things that we've had to think about to try and make this successful for us? So I know you can't read the slide, presentation 101, you should get slides that people can actually see, but one of the key themes in here is about making self-service really seamless, frictionless for our customers as part of that digital journey. And really the first thing that we did was confirmation of payee. Lots of people have had to do that from a regulatory point of view. We put that in Skipton as well. But that was brilliant. It was a brilliant first step for us in the programme in terms of the transformation, because customers feel much more secure. They can now verify the payees. You'll all know what confirmation of payee is. And we found a massive reduction in complaints as a result of that. So we were getting several complaints every month. We've had 2 in the last 6 months connected to that payment journey. So that was fab. Big theme through here then is onboarding and the login journeys. So we have engaged with new third parties to give us much more seamless, much more frictionless onboarding for new customers through digital, so eKYC, IDMV, and the login journey, which is a real pain point for customers of Skipton up to now. When that fails, it's a problem. You have to go to technology, you have a huge piece of work to do as a member. So we want to make that really slick, really easy. We want to stop customers from falling out of those journeys, being able to manage it digitally, be more just that transaction works quickly for them. The other part that we're trying to do with the onboarding and log-on journeys is to move to real-time onboarding, being able to open accounts, fund accounts in real time instead of having to wait for the pigeon to deliver a letter through the post, which is what happens just now. And whilst we wait for that digital version, we've done a lot of work as well on the branch and the telephony channels and making sure that we can move those to real time. So in the meantime, we have got that capability and that is built. The other key theme in terms of that self-service journey is our app and the customer portal part of the web. So we'd originally thought that we would just tweak the existing app and portal and we'd be able to bring the new functionality in that way. We found early on, and this is one of the things that we pivoted on fairly quickly, was that was just going to be too hard. And actually, we were going to need new technology for the app and portal eventually anyway. So what we have decided to do is completely rebuild app and portal and put that into new technology. And actually, I really liked the discussion we had about the design. I think it was Rich that was talking about the design piece, which we're also doing with the app and portal, which then gives us the ability to move much faster in the future with the things that we then do with app and portal. The next piece really is about that digital first human touch. So we talked about that, Ola talked about it, Chris has talked about it, and that really is a theme running through for us. So digital first, human touch, digital if you can, human if you need it. And really the key strand for us for that is the customer engagement platform that we're building. So it's cloud-based, new customer engagement platform. It's Dynamics for those that will know. That gives us a single view of the customer. It means that we can pick them up at any point in their journey, whether they start that in the branch or on the phone or digitally. Whatever they're doing, we can make that much easier for them through all of our channels. It's also letting us bring in new functionality like knowledge management, and that's supported by Copilot, artificial intelligence. And that is helping to speed up our ability to respond to customers, helping us to get that first time response for them. And also things like the sales journey we're looking at, we're bringing in new functionality through Dynamics for that, to make that whole journey with our customers on as we're selling and as we're working with them to understand what their needs are much better. The kind of fourth box on here talks about responsive operations, and I guess what we're doing there is saying if we want our customer service to be as good as it can, we have to also make the background work really well. We have to make those operations really good. And the focus for them there us there has really been on what we do with mail, what we do with scanning, what we do with paper. From a digital point of view, we've outsourced some of our big volume mail already. We've got new inbound scanning, which helps our colleagues. We're using artificial intelligence there as well in Power Platforms so that we can read that inbound scanned material and get that process without a colleague having to touch it. And again, that frees our colleagues up to do other things. And on paperless, we have made quite a number of documents paperless already. It's been quite tactical, but we're hoping to move to much more customer-led paperless solution over time. And the final thing on our operations is our telephony system, which we have replaced already to a cloud-based system, and eventually that will then link in with the customer engagement platform and make all of that work together. Yes. So that kind of covers the first 4 boxes on there. I think the 5th one is all about workforce and culture and what we're doing there. And Chris has talked a little bit about what we're doing for our people more broadly. But we are investing quite heavily as part of the programme in the customer-facing colleagues, particularly in the branches, getting those colleagues skilled up so that they know how to deal with customers when they come in who want to operate digitally, teach them how to use the app, all those sorts of things. We put Wi-Fi into all the branches to support that. We did a pilot to get them to try and open accounts for customers, digital first in the branches, so to use their own devices to do that. We went from between 0 and 1% of customers using that channel to 22% really quickly. So we can see that there's definitely appetite there. There's an opportunity for us there. And the other piece on our workforce and culture is just around reskilling our own colleagues. So we're asking lots of colleagues to deal with new technologies, run and build new technologies. Dan will talk about that a little bit later on. But that's really important in us protecting ourselves for the future. Dan will also come on to talk about the last box, which has just gone. So there was one on there on architecture and engineering, and that's going to be Dan's slide later on. So lots of jobs to do. And what I wanted to just pull out is some of the things that we've had to do to help build that success. I think there's some challenges here which I hope will resonate with some of you guys and maybe help you in the future for future transformation. I was told from the day I arrived at Skipton that this is the biggest thing they've ever done. It's the biggest transformation programme we've ever done. And I guess what that leads to is a bit of sort of paralysis with some people, a bit of kind of rabbit in headlights, kind of worrying about what that looks like. So in the words of Desmond Tutu, if you eat the elephant one bite at a time, you can actually do it. And that is the way we have addressed that, is to not try and think about it as one enormous transformation programme, trying to solve it all at once. It is easy to chunk it up into manageable pieces that you can then address. Quite a lot of those are quite discrete. Yes, there's a lot of complexity in some bits, a lot of dependencies in some bits, but what you can do is move forward with that and get on with it.
What?
However, it is a really significant undertaking, and these 5 things are the things that I would point to that have caused me the biggest challenge, I guess, in my time here. So resource is the first one. When I came in, we had to recruit 150 people in total to help support the programme. Well, there were 150 working on it. What we found was that our engineering and change teams grew by somewhere between 1/4 and 1/2 over about 6 months. So there's a massive, massive increase. Some of that was internal, some of that was third parties. BJSS have been massively helpful to us through all of that, and lots of contractors as well. But what happens then is you find that your structures don't quite work. You need to think about your leadership, your organisation. People get confused about roles and responsibilities and accountabilities, what the direction is, and all of that we've had to reset, unpick, communicate, work through, alter as we've gone along. And I don't think we've got all of that quite right yet. That continues to be one of the biggest things that we need to deal with, is making sure that we stay right-sized from a people point of view and that people understand what their roles are. We also have, quite often, unlike the bigger banks, well, the banks, we're not a bank, I have to remember that, my background is in banking. We have lots of SMEs where we've only got 1 or 2 individuals. I'm going to have to hand over to Dan really soon. And that means that we've had to really think about how we schedule our timelines, because we have to rely on those one or two who might not be there. Thinking quickly then about culture, again, bringing in those third parties and contractors and changing the sort of scope and scale of what we were doing was a big difference for Skipton and a big change in culture. And the transformation programme was really one of the early indicators that are starting us to move towards, in Skipton, an organisation that was much more about customer outcomes and less about sort of reliability and social harmony that we'd had before. We have, in ways of working, I guess the points here were some of the ones that Chris also made at the beginning, is around how we move to Agile. We've tried to implement Agile as much as we can. That's brought its own challenges where we've had different interpretations of Agile. The common kind of hybrid model that lots of organisations have, where you've got a kind of very waterfall, very traditional top layer, and you're trying to then match the two together. We are getting much better at that now. We're bringing in SAFe much more consistently across the organisation, so we're starting to move towards that consistent way of working. And that's also reflected in the frameworks piece, where what we found was that some of the change frameworks you would expect either weren't there or weren't consistent. So we've had to build our own and then try and bring those back in to the rest of the organisation. And then the final point was about value. And again, Chris talked about this before. It's important for us to prioritise the features based on value, and we've done that and we've pivoted some things. But actually, in terms of delivery, it takes a long time for the big stuff to show through, for you to get to the big things. And therefore, keeping your teams motivated and keeping your stakeholders from getting too restless can be quite difficult. So what we've done is made sure that we have had a programme which has had drops of value all the way along. So things like confirmation of pay, paperless, mailroom, all of those things. They've come in, they've given us things that are showing that we're making regular progress. We'll continue to do that, to show that regular progress, but also by being more iterative, we'll have that management of risk and also keeping people engaged. Dan, I think you've got about 1 minute.
It's fine, thank you. Thank you, Katie. So whoever's on timing, I'll just try and do kind of 3 or 4 minutes around the tech. So firstly, Rich, gutted because I didn't wear my geeky T-shirt. I thought I'd wear a normal T-shirt, and now I wish I had. So obligatory, kind of complicated technical architecture picture that most of us don't need to go and understand, and I certainly aren't going to go through all the layers. But what I did want to just touch upon actually is a little bit around the kind of culture and the ways of working and what we've done, and a little bit around the legacy of kind of the applications that we have as well. So for those of you who don't know, Skipton is actually quite a big tech footprint. So we've over 400 employees in technology and IT at Skipton Building Society. At Skipton Group, we own even more of them. But we are on a journey. It is a bit cheesy with the J word, but historically, we've been an in-house shop. We've built everything. We've built some stuff we definitely shouldn't have built, and we've had to unpick some stuff. So I noticed Tom, one of our engineers, is in the audience. How many lines of code is in our back office platform, Tom, do you know?
A lot.
Yeah, so it's not a test. 15 million. So a very, very big back office system that we've got to work out and unbust. And we've got to learn some new habits. So again, how do we do things differently? And working alongside some of the colleagues in this room, and we've had some very direct feedback, thank you, Mike, around how we might do things differently and the types of things that we should do. And it's been fantastic that we've got that feedback because we've learned. And for me, Skipton in particular, we're on a learning journey. I'm very super passionate about how we learn as engineers and how we make sure that some of this stuff be true in 5-10 years from now, and how we keep it alive in terms of architecture. So big investment in individuals' time, individuals' learning, and working with the likes of BJSS to understand how you might be different and how you might architect some of these things differently. So thank you guys for that.